Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Coach Tim Miles, my God, do I ever need to see you? How are you, sir?
I'm great, Jay.
We are dying over here in Nebraska land.
The sun came up an hour earlier, though, man. After that tough one yesterday.
So I need to lean into you today, Coach, because I like this Nebraska thing. I found something on the X platform this morning that says that we've 25 games in a row. We've had 25 losses in a row with the ball in hand and a chance to win the game, going back, down to 2017 timeframe. And I just think the team is possessed with a losing mentality, and they seem to be getting worse as time goes on. And I know they have talent. So, as a coach, you're a coach. How do you deal with something like this that seems to be so endemic in the program?
Well, God, it sounds like the odds are in your favor for the worm to turn, my man. I mean, if you're 25, you're going to hit a few. Like get one in play one of these days. I just think that there gets to be a certain point where that narrative gets out there, and how you convince people otherwise is, and there's no doubt coaches are doing it, but you have to practice that to do in a game. So you put them in situations in practice. I'm sorry, and they practice that. They practice that, right? But your practice reps, and Tom Osborne was the best at this. Nebraska in the 90s probably, had big squad sizes in the walk-on program, and their reps in practice were so good. It's really hard nowadays with the different restrictions to replicate what you're going to see against your opponents in the Big Ten. But at the same time, that's where that comes from. You just have to feel like you're going to do it out there. And honestly, that's such an outlier, 0 for 25. That's an outlandish number, but it's going to turn. There's just no doubt in my mind it's going to turn. That team is well coached. They've got good talent, and it's time. But you've also got some critical, you're young at a key position, and there's experiences for that person too. And so there's no doubt I think that turns. But as a coach, you have to practice those deals, and I know Coach Rhule and everybody is.
I think, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The kid is young, and the teams have figured out that they can put pressure on this guy and make him make some suboptimal choices like that. That pick six at the beginning of the third quarter, what a dagger. And it's just like, oh my God, here we go again. Despite that, they came back, got to a point where we had the ball in hand with Heinrich Harburg in the last drive, and just couldn't get it done.
You know the Nebraska fan base. You went through the ups and downs with them. How does the coach block out the noise?
I never had satellite radio until I got to Nebraska, because listening to an AM, FM, talk radio, sports talk thing was just, it's not healthy. It just gets you thinking, you start worrying about what other people say or whatever. You can't be like that. You have to know, and you go in when you get those jobs, you have this strong philosophy on your program organization, what your goals are for culture, what your scheme is, and you're always modifying scheme to your personnel, and it changes now more than ever with the transfer portal and immediate eligibility. So you have to stay a little bit flexible there, but typically you're going to run the ball or throw the ball, or for me, we're going to play good half-court defense. I'm not all of a sudden going to become a pressing coach, because we can't score a little bit. So you kind of double down on, this is what we do, let's do it better. Let's commit to the fundamentals. Let's commit to the fundamentals that win, just like an investor would in a tough market, right? You stick to your principles. And anybody that has those jobs usually has well-identified principles, philosophies, fundamentals of what they're going to be and who they are and what they can teach and coach to. And I think that's the one thing I always did. And I could handle the outside noise. And quite frankly, it's easy to second guess a coach, especially coaching college kids, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. They're going to make mistakes. Like, I've sat there, had a kid essentially almost in tears in a huddle looking up because the starting running back sitting next to his girlfriend, and he's worried about that. Like, for God's sakes, are you? And then the kid can't make a jump shot, and it's my fault. Okay, sure. So, you deal with some stuff, right? I mean, and so, but that's what makes it so exciting for everybody involved. And it's such a time for peak growth and human development and teaching, and it's so fun for the fans to see young people grow up in front of their eyes. I wish the kids would stay longer than just a year or two or three, and I really am concerned about that with the portal. Like I went to, I'm just going to digress for a second. I went to North Dakota State. I had two players going to the Hall of Fame, Brett Wakelman and Ben Woodside. They were recruited as freshmen, redshirted, had 4-year careers, so 5 years in college, got their degrees. And Ben was all-time leading scorer, second all-time in assists, high in steals. Brett was second in scoring all-time and first in rebounding all-time. Hall of Famers. And I started thinking, like, how many kids are going places that have Hall of Fame careers anymore?
Wow, yeah, good point.
Not many. Like, it doesn't happen that way, and that makes me a little sad.
Do you know Kurt Signetti?
I don't know.
But what a job he has done at Indiana in 1 year. And so one of the questions I have for you is, I mean, does the portal, I mean, is he set the new standard in like, hey, in the age of portal and NIL, you can restart a program
Yeah,
in
well,
one
what did Indiana's payroll go?
Last year in Indiana, they paid everybody in corn. So the may be different.
Iowa and Nebraska doing their job, exporting corn.
But serious question about it though. Like this seems like a brave new world. The league consolidation, you add that to the party too. Season ticket sales across the Power Five were up 43% this year. So something is going right in terms of interest in the game. But it appears like we're in a whole new world right now with transfer portal and NIL and ultimate, payroll. How do you compete in that world? And you're on the other end of that.
Yeah, right. Other side of the tracks there.
Yeah.
You just do the best you can. And I think the frustrating thing for me is the art of recruiting, the art of putting together a team is kind of, now those lines are blurred. It's not. It used to be you could do some things. Now, truly, you just buy a team. It's like the Yankees and the Dodgers, right? And so you still, I think, invest in character and those characteristics, those personal integrity things that align with you as a person. Like, I want this certain kind of competitor. Maybe he's not as tall as I want him to be. Maybe he's not as I want him to be. But if he is committed to this mentality that I can coach, I want everyday guys. Everyday guys. If we have everyday guys, I'm going to enjoy coaching them. They're going to enjoy playing for me. And we're going to be pretty good. We're still going to be really tough. We might not be the most talented team in the Mountain West because our payroll is 9th out of 10. But at the same time, we're going to have the right kind of guys to go out and win a whole bunch of ball games and maybe even qualify for postseason play. We'll just find out. But I think you have to find those guys you align with, those characteristics, competitiveness of the basketball IQ, of the guys that I can game plan with, and maybe we can take some things away from an opponent that other teams aren't doing. And we can kind of scheme it up a little bit too.
And how's your team looking this year?
So we play our first game to Monday, right? Day before Election Day. So we'll find out the hard way. So far, okay, we won our exhibition game. We did fine in our scrimmage. Got a lot of room for growth. We throw it to the other team. You talk about a pick six. We do that about 6 times a half. So so we got to fix that. I think we got some colorblind guys out there, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, one of your favorite Miles lines is I got a lot of good outside shooters, but unfortunately we play inside.
Yeah, play indoors. That's the problem.
But listen, George Stockwell is now almost 6'3", still raining.
And he can shoot it.
Fire
He's
from
a maker.
the sky.
He's a shot maker.
Yeah.
Right?
So
of course, I wouldn't say that publicly because that'd be an NCAA recruiting violation. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Yeah, he's a nice boy. So I got a question for you. How many guys on your staff, on a basketball staff?
So I have 3 assistant coaches, and then I have a video guy and an ops guy that can now act as assistant coaches where they can recruit and coach on the floor. So 5.
So
plus a strength guy.
When you look at your team, how much turnover is there in the coaching rank and the guys that you have for you?
Yeah, so usually you're going to lose a guy here or there of those 5. Usually annually. I did last year. I was fortunate. It really doesn't compare to my roster turnover. which we had 16 roster spots and 12 new guys this year.
Wow.
And so the staff turnover is not unusual. And, like I say, if I lose 1 out of 5, that's 20%. That's not unusual to me.
Have you ever made a mid-season coaching change on your staff?
Yes. Yeah, and it was difficult to do. But I had to do it. It was just in my gut. I had to do it. And I did the right thing.
How did it impact the team's performance, or did it?
So I didn't translate into wins and losses, but I did the right guy. The guy that I elevated from ops to assistant is now a Power 5 head coach. So I saw it right.
Yep.
And it did help us eventually. And the other guy went on and is successful and doing great things too. And they're both still great friends of mine. And so, I think we handled it right, but it's not easy to do.
Do you have it merging Amari Moore's in the new 12 guys?
Working on it. I'm working on it. Amari Moore's doing great in Turkey now, winning ball games, scoring points, going to make money. I love it. I wish we could see him in the NBA, but either way, he's going to be a successful pro. We've got some good young talent. Took a whole bunch of transfers. Rob Biola, who was our center 2 years ago, missed all of last season. He's back. We really need Rob. And then we just got to get healthy. We're just getting healthy. And then we got to stay healthy. That's always a big thing.
So why does a kid want to make a transfer? If you're 9th out of 10 in cash expenditures, why would the kid want to make a transfer?
So let's say I'm at UCLA and I'm playing 18 minutes a game. I'm only averaging 3 or 4 points a game. Why not come to San Jose State and average 15 points a game? And now, prove yourself, because it might be great to be at a Power 5 school. But if you're a go-to guy and people, like I always say to our guys that want to go pro, and they're like, well, I wanted to be in the Euro League, but I'm in the Champions League. I'm one division lower than I really wanted to be. I'm like, be a productive pro. Show up every day. Be a great leader. Be a problem solver. Go out, be a guy that's going to score, rebound, have assists, help contribute to winning in a big way. And all the right stuff will happen in a bigger level. If not, you'll stay employed for a long time and be a hero, at that level too. That's not a bad option.
Yeah.
So this is your 3rd year?
4th. I've completed my 3rd.
4th.
Wow. And you were
Mountain West Coach of the Year 2 years ago, or was that last year?
Jay, you were in my house. When I got let go at Nebraska, I was at 399 career wins. So my first game out here, Jay came to. We won on a last-second shot, offensive rebound by a 5'8" walk-on guard. Chased down a loose ball, threw up a floater, swished it right as the time went to 0, and I won my 400th career win. So guess who had a party? I did. At my house, and Jay was there, and my dad was up, who was 95 at the time. God bless my dad, who passed away this summer. But Dad was up drinking wine until 3 a.m. Pacific time before I chased him up and went to bed, and we had a great time. And just think that was over 3 years ago, Jay.
Right. That's crazy. Now, you bring your dad up. What a great guy. I got to meet him on a few occasions. What's your favorite dad story?
Yeah, I think the one of the things the story I told at my dad's funeral, and I might cry now that I think about it, so don't make me do this. But so Dad was notorious, 3 different jobs for getting run out of the gym, almost arrested, because he had such a hatred for the referees. Every time things were going bad for my team, it was the refs' fault. And he literally had to be restrained and removed from the premises in 3 different states, right? Always about the referee, always about the officiating. So late in life, Dad was, 98 or whatever. And I said, Dad, when we're talking about death and dying and things like that. And I said, Dad, when you get to heaven, what are you going to say to all those referees up in heaven, that you're so hard on? He goes, oh, Timmy, there's no refs in heaven. Now, that may be a true story or not true story, but that's kind of the way my dad lived his life. Whether we know it's embellished or not, it's a good story.
I have a theory about people who bang on referees. Get out there and referee a game, and then you come and criticize me after the fact, because it's not as easy as it looks.
when I was a child, I remember being a child, and he was umping a fast pitch tournament, and we had to run to the car and get away from the mob. I mean, so we've been there. I've been there. Clark, South Dakota, man. Get going.
All right. Hold on. How the kids were on the family. I want to get the
on the
report.
family part.
Ava Grace, grad student, sports law and business at Arizona State University. And Gabe Miles got 6th in the conference last year in the Summit League as a freshman in the 400-meter dash.
Nice.
I think he's going to be in the 47s this year. I think he's going to be fast, low 21s in the 200. Might place in a couple events in the Summit League this year. He's at North Dakota State, where he was born, and now he competes there as a track athlete and is doing great. So they're a lot of fun.
Go ahead, Bob. This is where you ask about Coach's new girlfriend.
No, I don't ask about stuff like that. That's remember, it's a football podcast. So, Coach, you've been through the ups and downs of coaching cycles, and you've dealt with fans and all sorts of different things. What would you say to the Nebraska fandom now, given the fact that there's a possibility that there are no more wins on the schedule?
And there's a possibility there's 3 more wins. I stick with the team. You love that team. You love that school. Those events, there's no place like Nebraska. Those events rally a state. When you look at what's inside of Memorial Stadium and another 50, 100,000 tailgating outside, it's third largest city in the that 1 mile radius is the third largest city in the state of Nebraska. Embrace that and embrace it. And be pissed off when it doesn't go well and love it when it goes great, but stay with it. There's nothing like it. Don't lose that. Stanford has, 12,000 people at a game right now. You know what I'm saying? And you embrace the team, embrace those kids, embrace that coaching staff, and just, cheer the heck out of them. And you know what? When it's not the end of the world if it doesn't go well. It feels like it. And it does. But guess what? The sun came up, like we said, an hour earlier today, and we have another opponent to look forward to. And let's figure out how to get it done and get it done right.
What I was going to say is how fit you looked the last time I saw you, which was your dad's funeral. But I mean, dude, California is good on you.
California, man, you got to get a chance. Competitive out here, dude. You know how it is.
You guys are awful. My fitness level, Jay, will come and go. I think at the end of Nebraska, I was really stressed out, and I kind of lost that mentality. And then during COVID, there was that. And then as I moved out here, it's always kind of, when the weather's nice, it's always kind of easy to work out. But when you live in Fargo and places like that, and it's 39 below, you don't feel like getting out and getting in your gym shorts and your T-shirt and running, 4 miles, criminy sakes. So I feel good. And on occasion, still find a cold Coors Light to slug down and just enjoy playing golf poorly over and over, and I can't wait to get you out here to take some money, some that cold hard cash out of your back pocket.
I learned something yesterday. I was at a college fraternity party yesterday because it's Parents' Weekend here at UCSB, and my son's a senior, so my wife and I came out. And frankly, they've raised partying to a whole new level that we've never had back in the 80s. Just it's insane. But I also learned that when a Coors Light can is cold, it turns blue.
Yeah.
And when it's not, I had no idea. All these years.
I met the guy that developed that technology in Denver, Colorado, when I was at CSU, the Blue Mountains. That tell you how cold it is. And I met the guy, and I said, do you get a patent for that? He goes, are you kidding me? He goes, I barely got this country club membership, Lakewood Country. I'm like, it was like the old hypercolor stuff that we grew up in the 80s with, man. Put your hand on somebody's shoulder and it turns pink.
Yeah.
And it's a good concept. Works for me.
All right, Coach. What a pleasure to speak with you. We are going to find, Bob and I will find a game, and we're going to make it out there.
We play Santa Barbara this year, Bob.
Oh, you do? When you play
like November 17th or something like that. Sunday afternoon.
I'm not sure if we'll be back.
Home game?
Yep.
At Santa Barbara on the 17th.
No, at San Jose.
Oh, at San Jose.
They wouldn't let me into Santa Barbara. Are you kidding me?
Come on down, man. It's
please, dude.
Here. Yeah. Now get out.
All right. So we always end our podcast with a Go Big Red chant, and I know you know how to do it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah. You go.
I'm
you go
doing
first. You go
Hey
first.
everybody, go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
Run!